Good evening. This is a special coverage of the coronavirus crisis using the combined forces of News 5 and Signal TV's 1 News, Radyo 5 and 1PH. Senate President Tito Sotto says the upper house will back President Duterte's request for additional budget to address the COVID-19 crisis. However, Sotto admitted that he did not think the executive department needed more funding considering that there were unreleased funds from last year's budget.
I was expecting that they would be able to do that even without the approval of Congress, because there are budgets that were not released last year that may be available now, and there are some funds that could be available this year, especially as far as the GOCCs are concerned. Now that there are additional expenses that are necessary, then perhaps that's the reason the executive department would like to be able to touch other budgets that they cannot without a law.
Sotto said that the Senate will physically reconvene on May 4. Till then, senators will be discussing issues via their Viber group. They will talk about the option of virtual sessions when they meet again next month.
We don't have that in our rules yet, so we can probably even discuss that also on Monday. There are those who are pushing for it, but there are other members of the Senate who are not too inclined to agree. Perhaps hybrid. We will allow those who cannot attend, perhaps, to participate. That's about it at the moment.
The Senate President also revealed that Congress has already granted emergency powers to the Chief Executive through the Bayanihan We Heal as One Act. That's despite Duterte himself saying he doesn't need it.
We specifically mentioned Article 6, Section 23, Number 2 of the Constitution. We placed it there, particularly in the Declaration of Policy. He may avail of emergency powers. But that was not the intention of the law of Bayanihan Act. Therefore, that is the reason it's not in the title. But he is allowed to have special emergency powers in the span of the life of the Bayanihan Act, which is 2 months to 3 months if extended.
Moving forward, Sotto says is open to allotting more funds for the health department in the future to improve our response to infectious diseases such as COVID-19.
In the days to come or in the years to come, perhaps what we can do is to give more emphasis on the budget of the Department of Health, particularly on infectious diseases. Yun ang pinakamahirap and perhaps a hospital, regional hospital, or perhaps even at the start, the Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao hospital, really catering to a specialty on infectious diseases.
COVID cases in the Philippines have breached the 7,000 mark. As of 4 p.m. April 24, more than 200 people were infected with the coronavirus overnight. This brings the total coronavirus infections in the country to almost 7,200. 15 more people lost their lives to COVID-19. So far, more than 470 people died to the SARS-like disease. 40 patients recovered from the infection in the past 24 hours. Currently, more than 760 patients have survived the disease. Meralco is assuring the public that electricity bills won't see any hike during the quarantine season. Gerard De La Peña has a story.
It's a summer month, and in Albert Claudio's home in Quezon City, his appliances are working almost non-stop. The TV, electric fans, refrigerator, as well as lights are all turned on all day because he and his family aren't going anywhere because of the enhanced community quarantine. And with the announcement that the ECQ is extended until mid-May, he is worrying about the mounting electricity bill. He fears that his earnings from his small sari-sari store won't cover for the utility expenses during the ECQ period.
Wala pa pong bill na dumadating. Ang problema nga lang po, itong pagtapos ng ECQ. Hindi po namin alam kung baka bigla na lang dumating, tapos ang laki na.
But Meralco said, while households have been using more electricity, the total demand is about 30% lower compared to last year's levels. And it's far from the projected peak demand of 12,285 megawatts for this year. Electricity bills are also unlikely to increase while the ECQ is in place, as supply remains sufficient, plus oil prices have also slid.
Last month, kaya bumaba yung generation charge, in-invoke namin yung force majeure provision kung saan yung pagbili natin sa mga suppliers hindi tayo masyadong ma-expose doon sa tinatawag na take or pay provision. Kumbaga, dahil we are in an emergency situation, an emergency period, we are invoking the force majeure para yun lang actual cost ang papasanin ng consumer.
Meanwhile, Meralco is appealing to customers to refrain from flying kites. The company has retrieved dozens of kites that got tangled on electric lines and posts.
Ito ay nagsasanhi ng power interruption, no, sa iba't ibang areas within the Meralco franchise. At ang nakakabahala pa dito, may mga naapektuhan din na vital facilities, particularly mga hospitals, no, na nagkakaroon ng interruption.
Gerard de la Peña, News 5.
Make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race.
When we return, Filipino frontliners in London send their message of hope to everyone through a song. That story and more when the special coverage of the coronavirus crisis returns. Stay with us. Good evening. You're still watching the special coverage of the coronavirus crisis using the combined forces of News 5 and Signal TV's 1 News, Radyo 5, and 1PH. The AFP will also be making changes to their deployment to adapt to the new quarantine rules in the Philippines. Speaking to 1 News' agenda, AFP spokesperson Edgar Arevalo says the military currently has almost 2,500 troops in Metro Manila, which already includes reservists. Some government troops are currently helping cops man checkpoints as well as enforce quarantine rules in areas under total lockdown.
Ang ating position ngayon ay with regard to the changes doon sa ECQ, kung doon muna tayo pumunta.
Yes.
Kailangan nating magawa ng readjustments sa ating troops deployment sapagkat may mga areas na wala sa ECQ, merong punta sa general community quarantine. Yun po mga reservists natin, pangunahin po dyan ay yung mga nag-graduate ng ROTC. Kung ikaw po ay nakagtapos ng basic ROTC, then ikaw po ay reservist.
The NCRPO is reporting that crimes in Metro Manila from March 15 to April 23 were halved. In the same period in 2019, the NCRPO recorded over 15,000 criminal incidents in NCR. This year, that number plunged to just around 6,600. Meanwhile, over 2,000 quarantine-related arrests have been made since March 15. Most of these apprehensions were related to illegal drugs. 56 people were also arrested because of profiteering. Now, aside from working the front lines in London, Filipino health workers are spreading an important message to the world through singing. Marian Enriquez has a story.
There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love. This place much harder than tomorrow.
Heal the world. This is the message of Filipino nurses and medical staff employed by the National Health Services in the UK to the global community as nations battle the pandemic. All of them are part of the London-based Haraya Choir. One of them is 29-year-old ICU nurse Jess Sotto, a native of Cebu. Sotto says London hospitals didn't have enough ICU nurses when the number of COVID cases in the city surged. He even tells us even ward nurses had to be trained to handle critical cases so they could be assigned to ICUs. Before the pandemic, the ratio of ICU nurses to patients in their hospital was 1:1. Now, each ICU nurse is looking after 2 to 3 patients.
It's really hard considering na 12-hour shifts kami. Tapos 1 hour, 30 minutes lang yung break para lang huminga after nagsuot ka ng PPE, nakaganyan ka for 4 hours or more. Tapos pagsuot mo niyan, less likely na makakaihi ka pa within the next 4 hours or makakainom.
28-year-old endocrine ward nurse EJ Gultia is currently assigned to COVID-19 patients with diabetes. He grapples with seeing his patients suffer from the SARS-like disease. Worse, the patients cannot be visited by their family members or loved ones due to standing COVID-19 protocols.
Emotionally draining kasi siya na task na nakikita mo yung isa nalalagas yung mga pasyente mo. Everyday wala kayong araw na hindi kayo namamatayan, yung parang ganun.
Singing is a way for these brave frontliners to tell their stories. It's their breather.
Many of our members are working in the front lines. So, yung mga shifts nila mahahaba at laging mga pagod. So, we thought it's best na parang mag-try mag-online recording for this video.
Haraya Choir founder and musical director Carlin Moreno Hayworth believes they could reach out to more people through music.
Let's share our voices, and as we are all in this together, I'm sure it doesn't matter what race you are, where you're from. We have the same message, we have the same experiences, and we just want to try to uplift everyone through our music and our voices.
Just last March, the group bagged first prize at the Manchester Amateur Choral Competition 2020. At present, the Philippine Embassy reports that about 20 Filipino healthcare workers have died in the UK from COVID-19. And through these challenging times, they are urging everyone to do their part in the fight against the coronavirus.
Just right there, that line itself, heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me, for everyone. Every simple thing counts at the moment. Even washing your hands, staying at home, it makes a very big difference for everyone.
If you want to know why, there's a love that cannot lie.
Marian Enriquez, News 5.
And that's the latest on the enhanced and expanded community quarantine in Luzon. For more updates, follow News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World Online. I'm Jess De Los Santos. We are One News.